I apologize for the scuff. I know the scuff is really fucking bad this stream, I'm sorry. The scuff is so bad this stream. And I'm smaller than usual, because I was doing something in VTube Studio, so now my model is not the normal size. I'm a little guy today, I'm sorry, chat. Oh dear. How are we all? I am sorry for running this stream off for so long. It is definitely not because I've been playing Baldur's Gate religiously for the past few days. It's definitely not that. I promise. But also, do you guys like Baldur's Gate? Oh fuck, that game's ruining me. It's an issue. It's an issue. I've been playing it fucking religiously. I was like, well, I don't really want to stream today because Baldur's Gate. But I woke up late today, so there was no Baldur's Gate beforehand. So might as well just stream. But hello everyone, hello. Kyle stream again. It's been a good while since I played this game, since we've been going ham on Undertale. Hello, Gyro. But yeah, now we're back on, Kyle's Famous. Where did you get on Baldur's Gate 3? I'm like right at the end of Act 1. I just got into the Underdark yesterday. I would be farther if I didn't reset my last save because I wanted to get Karlach, but I fucked up at one point, so I've been speedrunning getting back up to where I was. But yeah, I'm in the Underdark now. And it's like the bane of my existence. Oh god. How many endings do we have? I forgot. We almost have everything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 more endings to do here. So, I mean, let's just get to it. God, there's so many fucking endings. Jesus H. Christ. $16 out of 117. Jesus fuck. I'm putting it... Okay, yeah, it is on black. The pink hurts my eyes a little bit. Kyla's hot dog. Let's get started on... Let's get back to the... where the fun begins. Which class are you? I'm a warlock. Let's see. It's been... Okay, I have an idea. I'm gonna save that for later use and then not prepare any... And then not prepare any, what's it called? No notes, just bugs, and I'll see if I can use the bugs instead of the notes. Hopefully it'll work. Hopefully. Gabby, what are your thoughts on Rachel May? Oh, Rachel, she's a wonderful woman. Her generous acts have inspired more good work than bad. Gabby trailed off, not beating Kyle's eyes. After several uncomfortable moments of silence, Kyle turned around and left. Bedroom. Just scavenge more. Oh, we found Harry again. Let's leave Harry for another time. We already did the Harry ending. Kyle, Harry to the set. We're just gonna scream and spin in circles. Start the interview. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Stay Up Late with Kyle. Tonight, I have the pleasure of interviewing the lovely Rachel May, who needs no more introduction. Hello, Kyle. I'm glad to be here. Well, I'm sure we'll have a lot to discuss, so we might as well dive right in. I'm very ready. In a shock, Kyle realized he had never bothered to prepare any notes for the interview. Yeah, I'm gonna produce a ball of bugs. Well, Rachel, I wanted to show this to you. Kyle produced the ball of bugs he had accumulated from his bedroom floor. Rachel took several beats to figure out what Kyle was holding in his hands. A look of horror crossed her face. Kyle, what on earth is that? Is it alive? Maybe. Here, watch this. Kyle, staring at Rachel, opened his mouth wide and slowly inserted the gooey ball of bugs. As Rachel watched, obviously unsettled, Kyle began to chew very slowly and intently. Attempting to swallow, Kyle coughed several times, covering Rachel in partially chewed bugs. God, fuck. So gross. Rachel sat, stock still, processing what had happened. Kyle finished swallowing and opened his mouth to show that there were no bugs left. Well, that was satisfying, he said, smiling widely at the camera. Rachel got out her seat and left the studio. Amazing. So that brings us to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more endings. Let's go back to that locked room. Skip. Browse social media. Whatever. God, how did I get the key for that? Small key. How do I get in here? Maybe it's because I died. I think I died and then floated in. Oh, and then I gained serious short-term amnesia. Right. Yeah, I think I need to die to get into there. So we're just gonna wither away. And then we're gonna go to the locked door and float through as a ghost. And then we're gonna bring the artifact with us to the... And why not the laser claymore too? And then let's get dressed. And have some breakfast, as in eat the fridge. Because that wastes some good hours. And then we're gonna go bother Gabby. We could haunt around, but I'll do that next save. Well, it's time. Let's throw the artifact at Rachel. As she approached to shake his hand, Kyle produced the supernatural artifact and winged it at Rachel's face. Within moments of the artifact colliding with Rachel, her head started to turn into a lizard demon. Oh no. Rachel started to turn into a lizard demon. Rachel began to cause destruction, tipping over lights and causing crew members to scatter. Kyle, realizing the disaster he had caused, decided it was up to him to tame the monster. Throw crew members. Kyle started to grab nearby crew members and hurl them at Rachel. The crew members rebounded off Rachel on all sides, causing little to no damage to her or themselves. In a lizard demon rage, Rachel rushed at Kyle and drove him into the opposite wall face first. She began to pound Kyle's face into the wall repeatedly, littering it with head-sized holes. Kyle, having been in this situation before, felt he knew exactly what to do. Balling his fist, Kyle began to punch himself in the stomach repeatedly, causing loud gurgles and pops. What the fuck? Kyle's strategy did not help. He continued to be mashed into the wall. After a period of time, the artifact lodged in Rachel's face came loose and fell to the floor. Rachel immediately turned into her normal human self. The studio, now in shambles, flicked to life. The broadcast had started automatically. Kyle, unable to move properly, became aware that the eyes of many were upon him. Kyle tried to adjust the audience, but instead spewed some mixture of breakfast, phlegm, and chunks of plaster. Kyle's spewing video became a very hot meme. Online personalities used it to express distaste about social issues. Teenagers sent it to each other about homework amounts. Rachel's broadcast was rescheduled for the following week. Fans complained about not being able to see Rachel's face as she wore protective headgear the entire time. Oh, that's the same thing? Oh, Rachel prepared by being a lizard. Let's reset to the interview to see if there's anything more we can do with our lovely items. Because I wonder if we can use the Rachel Claymore, the laser Claymore. No, it doesn't look like it. Okay. So Rachel became a lizard demon. Who else can become a lizard demon? Have we ran away? I don't remember if we ran away. Okay, four more. What else can we do? Let's wither away again. You know, maybe we could... do we become alive again once we get to the studio? I keep forgetting. Let's skip to the end of the day if we can... Ah, okay. No. I'm gonna wither away again. Choose an outfit. Jeans and swimming goggles. Move to kitchen. Open fridge. Get breakfast. Hold on, guys. My cat's scratching at my door. I gotta let her out. Yes, my child. I'm aware. You're stuck in here. Leave. Where should we go? Okay, we good. We good. Alright, let's go back to the bedroom. Right now. Is your mother a mother? Yeah, I think that's okay. I don't know if we've done, if we became Rachel May and asked if my mother was a mother. Is your mother a mother? No, because I am my mother. And I'm your mother and everyone's mother, and also Rachel and Kyle, and I'm your children, that woman you met at the coffee shop yesterday, and your high school best friend. I'm your friends, and I'm that person. Okay, no. No. This is getting a bit difficult to get the endings for. Guys, what should we try? It's getting hard to guess the endings. I'm gonna wither away and then haunt around. Kyle felt a sudden pull on his heart. Had he abandoned his job as a ghost? Was he fulfilling his spooky ethereal role that he had accepted while lying in bed this morning? Kyle realized he had no other choice. He must spend his days spooking about. Kyle decided that he should make a plan about who or where he should spook. Spook the interview. Kyle thought that it would be best to continue his daily course, but with a twist. Today, he would still go to his studio, but instead of conducting an interview, he would haunt. Excitedly, Kyle made his way to the studio early to find the best spot to conduct his ghostly duties. The studio was empty. Being so early, the crew wouldn't arrive for several hours. Kyle gleefully skipped around the building, finding the best spot for himself to hide. After searching for some time, Kyle decided to hide behind the guest chair. Kyle quickly placed himself down and drew his legs to his chest. Soon, the crew began to arrive and set up for the interview that night. Invisible to all senses, Kyle went undetected. He watched as cameras were set up, screens were turned on, and pages were flipped. Within an hour, Rachel walked into the studio. Hey, everyone! I'm ready to get prepped. Who do I need to talk to first? Kyle's producer approached her. Thanks for being here, Rachel. You should talk to Andrea about makeup first, and then wait for when Kyle arrives. Kyle, knowing he was duping everyone, began to giggle uncontrollably. It was then that he, like clockwork, ceased to be a ghost. The studio grew silent. Everyone stared at Kyle, head down, clutching his legs and giggling at the floor. Kyle froze. He had found himself in a situation he had not encountered before. Kyle started to crawl out of the studio on all fours, hoping his small form would avoid attracting more attention. Everyone wordlessly watched as Kyle slowly made his way across the stage through the production set and out the door. As soon as he was outside the studio, Kyle broke into an all-out sprint. Kyle made his way back to his apartment as quickly as possible. Kyle sat in his kitchen, proceeded and processed what had happened during his day. He vowed that he would never haunt anything ever again. Kyle left. Oh, God. Kyle did not haunt Rachel successfully. Sell hot dogs, but I'm trying to get all of the interview questions, so I don't know if the hot dogs can help with that, but I'll do an ending for hot dogs. Kyle lay in bed for a moment, thinking about the day ahead. He would produce another episode of his long-running show, yes. Kyle thought about making breakfast, the same breakfast he'd been making for the past 9 years. Kyle thought about the clothes he would wear. They had not changed for a long time. Kyle waited for something new and something interesting to enter his head, something fresh, something exciting. Kyle continued to wait. Nothing came to mind. In a sudden moment of inspiration, Kyle threw his covers to the ground and stepped out of bed. Kyle made a decision. Today would not be part of an old journey. Today would be the start of something new. Kyle walked over to his desk and opened the middle drawer. He slowly removed an ancient, withered stick of meat. Today, Kyle planned to make good on his childhood passion, the career he had abandoned, to become a talk show host. Kyle looked caringly at the crusty hot dog in his hands. Then he smiled. Then he bent his lips downward and slowly sucked the hot dog into his mouth and down into his stomach. What the fuck did I just read? Kyle had become a hot dog vendor. He must now prepare for his first day running a hot dog stand. Jesus H. Christ. Hot dog soup. Sit at desk. Search for hot dogs. Or hot dogs he could sell, but Kyle had moved his hot dog stash somewhere else. He shut the desk drawers empty-handed. Scavenge. Hot dogs. Kyle started looking around for hot dogs. He crawled around and spreading layers of mold to the side of his hands and picking out interesting items. Kyle couldn't find any hot dogs, but instead he found a pile of love letters he had written in high school. Pocketed the envelopes and got back to his feet. Let's check the kitchen, I guess. Think about hot dogs. Being in the kitchen gave Kyle a massive amount of hot dog-related nostalgia. He stood still, pondering. Okay, open fridge. Search fridge for hot dogs. Kyle searched through the fridge, trying to find hot dogs. His search turned up nothing. Kyle was not surprised, as he had never stored meat in his refrigerator. Where do you store your meat, then? Kyle wanted to access the pantry, but found it was locked with a small keyhole. Is it marketing agency? Kyle walked over to the attendant, gave her a big smile. Ask about marketing. Kyle took a big breath. So, how does the whole marketing thing work? Well, we offer several packages for old and new media starting around $100, customized for your needs. Right, so what can I get for free? Not really anything. Kyle didn't answer and stood staring for a moment, then walked away. Kyle made his way to the street corner. After a long day of preparation, Kyle felt very ready for his first outing as a hot dog salesman. Kyle started to unpack his things onto the corner of the street. As Kyle was unpacking, his hand brushed the old love letters he had picked up earlier. He stopped. Something tugged at Kyle's heart. These letters were a piece of himself. These letters were a piece of history. Kyle realized it was time to give these letters to the original intended recipients. Kyle looked at the top of the letters, addressed to Abigail, a girl Kyle liked during high school. Abigail had moved to the other side of the city with her husband a few years ago, but Kyle was willing to make the trip. Kyle skipped away to Abigail's house, letter in hand. It wasn't that Kyle liked Abigail anymore. It wasn't that he missed her. To Kyle, this was more important than that. After an hour of walking, Kyle finally reached Abigail's front door. With excitement in his heart, Kyle took a breath and knocked on the door. Abigail opened it. Kyle, what are you doing here? It's been so long. Abby, I have something I want to read to you. Kyle took the letter to Abigail, clutched in his hands, and opened it for the first time in 14 years. Dear Abby, I feel funny when I look at you. Sometimes I think about you when I lie awake, but also sometimes not. But that's less often. I also talk about you constantly to everyone when you're not around, but it's not always good things. Sometimes I also steal your lunches when you're not looking and keep them in a drawer at my house to look at when I'm bored. I want you to promise me something. Kyle looked at Abby meaningfully. Promise you like me. And if you do like me, please show me by shoving live fish down your throat as a sign of dedication. Abigail shut the door. Kyle looked up from the letter and stopped reading. He looked at the door in front of him. He realized that Abigail probably had something to do, so he decided to leave her the letters to read later. Kyle pressed the letters against the door and pushed firmly. He took a nearby rock and drove it through the papers into the door, so Abigail could not miss them. With evening drawing, Kyle went home, satisfied that he had finished an old chapter of his life. When Kyle got home, he realized that he loved writing letters to Abigail. He decided that he would continue to do so every day and make her his pen pal. Kyle fell asleep with a smile. It had been a good day. What the fuck? What? This game gives me a migraine. This game fucking gives me a migraine. I swear to God. What was that? What was any of that? Jesus Christ. This game is so confusing. Let's browse social media, I guess. Okay, and then too late to change jobs now.
What are you so happy about?
Well, what I will tell you is that every night I don a mask that looks like a bug and fight misdoers. There's a sudden silence, then a door opened and someone exited the neighbor's apartment. Wait. Wait. I should have grabbed that flashlight a while ago. Hold on. Sit at desk. Check desk drawer. Flashlight. Okay, whatever. I have a flashlight. Let me use the flashlight. What do you mean it was dark? Let me use the flashlight. How do I use the flashlight? What the fuck? What the fuck? Why can't I use the flashlight? Does this flashlight not do anything? What the fuck? Main apartment. Is this the tech store? Give review of free sample. I really don't know what to do now. I feel like I've done like everything that I can. And I'm not sure what else to do. I don't know how to get these endings, but like I don't want to look up a guide. Carnival. Okay, let me see what I can do with these random assortment of items. Oh, I forgot to eat. Oh, produce CD. As Rachel started to reply, Kyle clamped his hand over her mouth. Hush. I need to do something before we can continue. Kyle removed the CD he had brought to the interview and placed it in a nearby player deck. The sound system kicked into action, piping Kyle's music throughout the studio. Rachel briefly listened, a blank expression on her face. Smiling, Kyle closed his eyes and enjoyed the music for a moment, then he spoke. All right, now everything's ready. Let's begin. Blame Rachel for the notes. Furthermore, I'm not sure I could tell the difference between you and a fish. Rachel left the studio. I don't know what else to do. I don't know what else to do. I'm so lost. I'm so lost. This game has too many fucking endings. Oh, God. Don't make me look up a guide. Hi, Suki! Welcome to the stream! Hello, hello, hello! What if I just made this an impromptu Baldur's Gate stream? God. Okay, I am so lost. I do not know what else to do. You see, this game is nice, except there's just so much for me to fucking do that I get so lost. Like, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I guess let's change jobs again. Choose an outfit, hot dog suit, chew on suit. Feeling fairly hungry, Kyle bent over and took a large bite of his suit. He felt refreshed. Wasn't enough. Kyle continued to eat his clothing. Soon, Kyle had eaten most of the suit. The chunks that were left were enough to act as clothes, but barely. Kyle felt satisfied. The hot dogs had nourished him greatly, functionally giving him more time in his day. Huh. Okay. Use hot dog magic. With a hum and a pop, Kyle used his massive knowledge of hot dog magic to change the door handle into a hot dog. Kyle sucked the hot dog into his mouth, opened the door, and walked through. Search for hot dog stand. Kyle looked around for anything that he could use to make a hot dog stand. Kyle rooted around the scattered boxes and loose items. He picked up buckets, pieces of wood, rusty nails, and bits of string. Soon he had enough loose items to be reasonably sure of being able to craft a stand that wouldn't fall over. Turn to bedroom. To desk. Shit. Check in desk drawer. Small key. And then I'm gonna go to the kitchen, because the pantry might have hot dogs. Yeah. After a few minutes of searching, Kyle found several stashes of old hot dogs loosened in paper bags. He gathered them together and saw that he had a serviceable amount of hot dogs. And then I'm also gonna grab the lard. He grabbed a bottle of lard and stashed it on his person, completely forgetting about the hot dogs that were also in the pantry. Well, I already grabbed them, so... Kyle made his way to the street corner. After a long day of preparation, Kyle felt very ready for his first outing as a hot dog salesman. Kyle started to unpack his things onto the corner of the street. Kyle took out his cart pieces and began to assemble them. With a little bit of trouble, Kyle was able to finish constructing a serviceable hot dog stand. Okay. Kyle then started to place the hot dogs he had brought into the cart. They were cold, but Kyle had never cooked his hot dogs as a child and he didn't want to start now. His prep finished, Kyle looked around and smiled, waiting for his first customer. It was then that Kyle realized he had not bothered to acquire any advertisement for his cart. If the hot dog stand would be a success, Kyle realized he would need to advertise all on his own. Kyle thought about his advertising options. Screaming. Without hesitation, Kyle craned his neck towards the sky and let loose a blood-curdling scream like none other. Everyone around Kyle stopped to look at him, unhappy with the noise. Kyle's scream continued and became more and more distasteful. Soon, there was not a person in his city that was not unhappy with Kyle's screaming. Kyle continued to scream throughout the night and into the next day. People began to stop next to Kyle, foregoing work to stand and frown. The reach of his scream began to spread, reaching nearby cities, then states, then countries. The world grew a distaste for Kyle's screaming. Families spent their evenings frowning. Nobody was terribly happy. A petition to move humanity away from Kyle's screaming was created. Everyone signed it. All of the nations of the world put their minds together and created a shuttle for humanity to leave Earth. Within a day, the human race had left on a trip to a new planet, away from the sound of Kyle's screams. Kyle continued to scream for many years, hoping someone would buy a hot dog so he could stop, but there was nobody left to buy any hot dogs. Kyle was all alone. Huh. That was an ending. That was definitely an ending. Reset to day end. This time we're gonna eat the stand. Kyle started to tear chunks out of the stand that he had just constructed and shove them into his mouth. Within moments, the stand had lost most of its structural stability and collapsed into a pile on the ground. Kyle did not stop. He took no enjoyment from eating his hot dog stand, but he knew he must continue. A small crowd formed around Kyle. Kyle stopped eating. He slowly craned his neck to look at the people circled around him. Shelled hot dogs. Kyle knew he needed to impress the people gathered around him in order to sell hot dogs. Kyle forced a smile onto his face and looked at his nearest to-be customer. Kyle's eyes were blank and without mirth. Kyle had chosen to grin at Tyler rough and gruff mixed with McPherson, which was a mistake. Tyler God, I cannot talk, screamed to the heavens in an unbridled rage, raised both fists into the air, and slammed Kyle's face into the concrete. Tyler began curb stomping Kyle with alternating feet, screaming endlessly. Kyle was confused. Something was familiar about this situation, like a whisper of a dream coming back after being hidden for many years. Still screaming, Tyler scooped Kyle into his mouth and swallowed him whole, and that's when Kyle remembered. Kyle was brought back to his time as a child. He spent his childhood in the yard finding sticks. He didn't eat. He had no family. Or did he have a family? Was there a kind mother behind him? A father coming home soon? A brother? A sister? No, there was not, but there was Tyler. Tyler had started as a bump on Kyle's hand. Kyle had thought it was a bug bite or a small irritation. Over time, the bump grew in size. Soon it sprouted teeth. Kyle nurtured the bump by feeding it sticks. It continued to grow and became even more hungry. But one day, Kyle noticed that the bump had changed. The hungry bump had turned into a large, hairy, loud man who was also hungry. The man burst from Kyle's arm and ran off into the distance, never to be seen again, not until today. Kyle, now in Tyler's stomach, realized that he would have a hard time selling hot dogs if he could not move on his own. Kyle stretched out, inserting his arms and feet into the inside of Tyler's limbs. What the actual fuck is happening right now? I someone has to be into this, right? Like, there has to be someone playing this game that's very much into this. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah. Tyler was annoyed and started swinging his arms wildly and running in circles. Kyle and Tyler fought for control over Tyler's motor functions. Hot dogs were sent flying, trash cans sprayed along the sidewalk. After many, many hours of fighting, Kyle and Tyler calmed down. They sat down on the sidewalk. Kyle explained his feelings to Tyler. Kyle used Tyler's mouth to respond. As the two talked, they realized their mutual love of business, sociology, politics. Kyle and Tyler decided to go into business together. The next day was the start of a hot dog empire. Kyle and Tyler, working as a single unit, became the foremost hot dog salesmen in the nation. Their success knew no bounds. Within months, Kyle had blasted past the popularity of his old talk show. Kyle and Tyler remained good friends and were never seen apart from each other, mostly because Kyle never managed to climb his way back to the real world. I'm noticing a pattern with this game. I'm noticing a bit of a pattern. If you guys would hear me out. There's a lot of swallowing people whole. Not sure if YouTube will let me say the exact word I'm thinking of, but it's odd to say the least. I don't know about that. There are no words for me to explain the feeling I'm feeling, but I'm feeling something. I don't think it's a coincidence. I firmly do not believe that this is a coincidence. I think I'm gonna end the stream early, 'cause this game is giving me a migraine. 1 year stream soon? 1 year stream soon? Yeah, I don't know about this game. I don't know. Goodbye, chat. I don't know how to end this. This game is something, and I don't know how I feel about it. I'm ending the stream here. Fucking hell. See y'all soon. That's all I have to say. Next stream will probably be the 1 year stream. Goodbye.